Welcome back to Duda Dojo, your source for the latest Duda news, platform how-tos, and product updates. I'm Jessica, and this week I'm joined by Madison, our SEO content manager, and Haley, one of our talented designers, to discuss the value of location pages and what you need to know to optimize them effectively. So let's jump right in. Madison and Haley, let's talk about location pages, how we build them in the Duda system, and what they even are. Because a lot of viewers, watching today might not even understand what location pages are and the value they bring from an SEO perspective. So Madison, obviously I'm gonna just engage with you first about these location pages. As a content manager, a lot of times your team is building the content into these pages, right? So the development team sets these pages up for you. And then you guys take them over and you build in and you set up location pages on different cities, et cetera. But talk to me about the value of location pages and the different elements that need to be considered when you're putting one of these pages together.
Yeah. So the most value that you're getting out of these pages is specifically geared toward that user. What a location page essentially amounts to is showcasing what services or what products you provide to a specific location. So if you have an HQ 2 to 3 towns over, but you still service that town, you want to make sure that you're hitting those keywords that suggest to someone who's putting in a search query, plumber near me, or dog treat store near me, something to that effect. So that when a user is looking for things in their area, they can really quickly find it. Yeah.
So location pages really are for not just small businesses, but organizations where they only service a certain area. Okay. So like a nationwide company, a location page, would it serve them at all or no?
It would. It could. There are less use cases for a nationwide company to have location pages. But even then, if you were having location pages as a nationwide company, I would suggest doing like overall states rather than counties or cities.
Got it. Okay. So what are some of the optimization elements that need to be considered that are built into location pages, which would look different from an average like web page?
Yeah. So you're going to have really specific keywords that you're wanting to hit. So not only do you need to make sure that you're including the city name, you're including what services are being provided by that business.
Yeah. Does that matter like where that keyword is embedded? Is it just headers or is it throughout the whole page?
It's definitely throughout the whole page. You want to make sure that you've got it immediately in your H1. You're hitting those top 2, which is this service I'm providing near or in city. And then you want to make sure that you're sort of sprinkling that throughout the rest of the content as well. And then you want to make sure that you have something like a map to show your geographical relevance.
I love that.
So either it's a map of, where you're actually located, or maybe it's a map of this city to our HQ so that people can really easily navigate. And then finally, you want to make sure that you're adding some sort of schema. Local business schema can be really helpful for Google's crawlers to make sure that they're indexing the page correctly.
Okay, so all of that is covered in optimization and specifically what RivalMind does when putting these together. So before you guys can even build those in or build that content in, the development team has to establish those pages. So Haley, I know when you came to RivalMind, which is we're SEO first, right? You had to not only get acclimated with what a location page was, but building those templates. Talk to me about your experience with that.
Yeah, so obviously I've been very design focused in my past experience. So it was an adjustment learning what a location page is and what its purpose is and how to make the template that I'm building easy for SEO to edit and also our clients. So building the templates is pretty easy because we usually have a homepage or interior pages of the website built already, and we pull from that style. Maybe some sections are created already. And then any sections where it's going to be like changing the location name or something, I'll add like an asterisk. I'll try and make it obvious for whoever's going to be building out these location pages on where you need to switch things.
Yeah, because a lot of times we're just putting, like we said, that template together and the strategists duplicate it for as many locations as they need. So we need a really solid foundation set up first. There are some nuanced cases, which we'll get in today. But, speaking of that sitemap, so I want to share that with viewers today of what that looks like. So I'm going to jump over to my screen, and what we're looking at here is there's so much more to this page of what I'm looking at, but we're just going to focus on this location page, which is a part of strategy, the sitemap that's been set up. So in this case, you can see right here in the beginning, we are inviting the user in to convert. So our team actually refers to this as a converting header. So anyone, that's listening today needs to like understand that there are your standard headers and there are headers for location pages, or even you see that more in ads landing pages, where you are inviting them into that CTA, into that conversion. And then here we've got the idea here is, the dev team was being asked to build out that map, right? So that map that you mentioned earlier. And then we have some other CTAs as we go throughout. And we all know any of the user's experience or from a lot of our research that we might not sell someone right away. So we do kind of take them on this journey with offering multiple conversions throughout. So let's look at what this, not this exact prototype, but what this might look like for different organizations. Madison, I know that you are a big fan of this location page for AEIS. So talk to me about this, the elements that you find to have of great value, and overall, like what are some of the things that the strategists have built into this page?
Yeah. So right off the bat, this page just looks really attractive. You have an attractive headline. It's engaging. It's kind of witty. It's drawing the user further in. You have an attractive photo off to the side. You have a little bit of text, and it leads you sort of down this path. If you scroll a little bit further down, immediately you have all of the services. So the main goal of location pages most times are either commercial or transactional.
Okay.
You have a user who wants to engage with a product or a service now. They don't want more information necessarily. They've already done some research. They want to make that conversion. They want to call. They want to email. They want to connect with you in some way, shape, or form. But what this does is it gives a quick 30,000 foot overview of saying, this is everything that we provide. This is what you need. If you want to learn more, there are buttons here that will take you there.
Yeah.
But this is what you need for right now.
That's a really valuable point, in that what you're saying here is that these pages act similar to ads landing pages, and that the idea is let's just convert the user.
Yeah.
So it's different than someone taking that exploratory journey of hitting your website, maybe going from the homepage through other pages. The goal is that you guys have this page so highly strategized that this page ranks, and that's how the users come in. And obviously with Duda, they make it so easy to take the template, because the way Duda functions, to just duplicate those pages and then manipulate what you need differently for each page.
Yeah.
I know. So I'm going to jump to another page, but we've been talking about content. Is there anything, do you ever devalue a page when you like replicate content?
Oh, yeah. So Google does not reward exact same duplicate content. It needs to be different just enough that Google recognizes it as something fresh, something new, something of value. So if you're just duplicating the same page over and over again, it's not going to recognize that as something unique or something, again, valuable.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here is really sort of straddling that line and developing language that can be of use to not only the user, but to let Google know, hey, you should crawl and you should index this page. This is super useful for people to see.
Yeah. So for all of our, viewers, basically Duda System's great. Duplicate that page, but you need to change the settings. You need to change the URL. You need to change the content for this to have value. So let's talk about this page. So this is Evolution Furniture. They do a lot of custom design furniture. So I just want to point out in this section here, this is a little bit funny because there's always a battle between strategists and the designers. We put these pages together, and then the strategists go through and they blow out the section with a giant, a giant header, just a really long header. Talk to me though, Madison, about the value of this. And then Haley, I would love to hear what you think about the modifications once they're done.
I know, I can already tell I'm a little bit in trouble. But essentially, so the reason that this headline is as long as it is the fact that there's a really specific keyword that we're trying to sort of latch onto, which is luxury custom built furniture. The data behind that was too great to ignore when building this H2, H1, that it had to be there in its fullest form.
Yeah.
Off to the side, you can see a sort of slideshow-esque widget that's running through all of the different types of furniture builds that they're willing to put together. And so you're immediately sort of highlighting on that customer journey what they want to see before they make that final conversion.
Yeah. What do you think about not just this page, but Haley as a whole putting together these attractive pages? Where do you think the balance needs to be found?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always thinking of SEO as I'm building them, trying to make it easy for the SEO team to edit and also for the client, because if we are building so many of them and duplicating them and there's different content for each one, we want them to be able to edit them easily.
100%.
Right. But I use lorem ipsum text, Latin fill text. So like it's hard to predict what keywords, how long the H2 is going to be that content puts in. And so sometimes it's a little bit much. And I can't look at the location pages once SEO touches them.
I know sometimes the designers have said, so can we like go back and tweak these?
Right.
I'm like, nope, we're done. Moving on.
I understand the value in it. So it's okay. I just need to not look at it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's really finding that balance. And the team does quite a good job of keeping it attractive. So let's talk about one last page here. I'm obviously in love with this one. This one was a little bit different. Haley, you built this. Talk to me about the design of this and the differences versus a standard templated location page.
Right. Yeah. So this one, instead of it being like a templated one that SEO duplicates and fills out all the information, this is a franchise company. So each franchise is really specific content, different services. So like it'll be like a different amount of columns for the services and different employees. So there's a lot of different widgets that are being used and content that's being implemented. And so for this specific franchise page, we ended up doing a custom navigation as well.
Yeah.
In order to
zip back up to that. Yeah. So when they are on the main corporate pages, there's one navigation. And once you get into a franchise, this is a completely unique navigation. So we had to kind of fake the system out to do this.
So each franchise will have their own specific navigation, and that's in order to keep the user converting to that location. So all of the navigation options you're seeing here are anchor tags within that page. So any conversion that user will be doing will be directly to that location. So this one was a little bit more tricky, but it turned out great.
It did turn out great. And I know you had like different types of content in these sections. So just want to cruise this page a little bit more, obviously. So in this case, there's one AKA pack leader here, whereas a different franchise might have 3 or 4. So even though the structure is the same, you had to really make these elements interchangeable for the individual locations.
Right. So, now, like if every franchise only had one person, I might not make that section look like that. But in order to accommodate for like all the location pages to be cohesive, you have to think about how that's going to look.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, great job on this. And then obviously we've got the map in there. So again, where they can just check, where that is in reference to them, if it's worth them to take the drive, or in this case, with a lot of these trainers come out to the individual clients. So this is really great work on that. So I just think it's a great thing for the Duda system to make it so easy to duplicate pages versus some other CMS systems that we've worked within, so that we can perform location pages quickly, rapidly. We aren't waiting, 2 weeks for a developer to code the page, etc. It's just like duplicate and done. And then so many easy manipulations as a designer to just use the Duda system and then perform just top SEO the way RivalMind does, Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Thanks so much. You're still here? The video's over. Go home. Or if you like this video, check out this one. Or subscribe to our channel.